Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Chris. I'm dialing in from Johannesburg, South Africa. Today is the 26th of October, 2023, and we've got awesome training lined up today for Team 333. And I managed to get Harvey to join us. Harvey, anybody that doesn't know Harvey, that's his full name is Javier Solis in New Jersey in the USA. Anybody that doesn't know who Harvey is our, let's call it upline. I think he's about, I don't know, probably about 15, 16, 17 levels above us. And Harvey has been in the network marketing industry for over 15 years. And with LifeWave, he's hit at the top rank, what we call a senior presidential director. And I asked him to hop onto the call with us this evening. We shifted the training a little bit because of something we were talking about yesterday. So a lot of people have been involved with LifeWave for a couple of months now, 6 months plus. Some people have been in for just under 3 months, and a lot of people are brand new. They've just joined our family and have become a LifeWave member literally in the last 2, 3 weeks. And what we were talking about yesterday is a lot of people are coming into the industry for the very first time. So, as we know, the network marketing industry has been around for over 100 years. Mm. Over 100 years. There are a lot of very good companies out there that have been around for a couple of decades. And and what's happening because LifeWave, as we know, is so different on every level. I didn't realize how many people are coming into network marketing for the very first time. So what's happening is we make the assumption that, well, a person's just joined and here we go, get out there and let's get people onto the Zoom call and get people onto a three-way call. And what we found is a lot of people don't know what to say. And that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. And we're going to be breaking it down to its basics and sharing with everybody a lot of things that we've learned along the way over the last just under a year on exactly what to say to a person. So I've got quite a few notes that I've made, and I've got quite a few things that I want to share with everybody this evening, based upon my personal experience over the last 11 months. But I see that Harvey has just joined us and he's got a limited time frame because he's got to get onto another Zoom call. But I managed to nab him for at least 20 minutes this evening. So let me find Harvey. Where's Harvey? Here he is. And I'm going to make him co-host. Harvey, where are you? Here we are. And make co-host. Okay, Harvey, where are you? Harvey? Okay, but I see he's just messaged me. Give me a second. All right, maybe co-host. You see, I'm gonna keep talking. Fine, I'll keep talking. So, as I was saying, I've been part of Lifeway for 11 months now, and and absolutely, I feel like I'm at home. For me, it comes across completely natural because the first time I joined my first network marketing company, I was 22 years old. In 1997 is when I joined my first network marketing company. So, guys, I was 22. I was wet behind the ears. Things were very different 26 years ago to what it is today. Today, we've got all the technology. We have Zoom calls. We have PowerPoint presentations, you name it. I come from old school. Guys, I remember the days where we used to do flip charts and draw circles and draw and flip charts and circles. There was no such thing as PowerPoint presentations like we have today. I remember when we advanced from the flipboard and the sheet. If you guys remember those little 35 mil little slides, and there was this little machine, and you used to load all the slides in. You used to push a button, and it used to go. Next one. And that's how we used to present with all this noise in the background and very basic images. And at a very young age, that was when I was 22 years old. The first time well, no, let me reverse a little bit back. I was studying traditional marketing. I was climbing the corporate ladder, right? And that's the direction that my life was going in. I came across network marketing um, by accident, by accident. And the first time they showed me the structure, now when they said to me this was a network marketing company, I said, "Net what marketing?" I'd never heard the word in my life before. I was 22, I was young. This is 1997. And they said, "Oh, let's show you how the structure works." Man, oh man, when they showed me that network marketing structure, guys, at the age of 22, it's like the light bulbs all went on. I thought, oh my word, the whole world should be working like this. This is how the whole world should be working. And always what you call ignorance on fire. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I built teams of thousands of people then days in the early 2000s. And then from there, I went into direct sales for a decade. And then, as a lot of you guys know, I had my own children's toy company for the last decade. So I've been out of the network marketing industry for 20 years, 2 decades. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, Chris, you're lucky you've done it before." I said, "Yes, I did it before, but 20 years ago." So a lot has changed. Let me tell you something. A lot has changed in the industry, the way compensation plans work, the product, technology, a lot has shifted. So it's like basically starting as fresh. And so with me, when I got started with LifeWave, when you kind of like, you just know deep down in your heart and your soul that this is it. My life has done a 25-year full circle. It's done a 25-year full circle, and I feel like I am at home. If you look at our amazing product and you look at the network marketing industry, guys, the network marketing industry right now is the fastest growing industry in the world right now. Because let me tell you, when network marketing, do you know when network marketing does the best and grows the most is when things are tight, when things are tough globally. And you know what? Things are tough globally right now. I don't know about you guys. Every time I go to the shops to go do general, normal grocery shopping, and I'm talking month to month, have you guys seen the way the prices of everything is going up? So people are a lot more open and receptive right now to look at doing a plan B, doing a side hustle, doing something else, and doing network marketing. Because a couple of years back, the industry, there was a bit of a, if you want to call it, a stigma attached to it, because there were a lot of people that were doing different scams, and all they did was it looked like network marketing, but it was not this beautiful industry. It was not. So, so a lot of people that, if you want to call it, burnt their fingers and thought it was network marketing, but no, it wasn't. It was just window dressed to look like network marketing. So, so what's happening is, where we are now, um, being a network marketing company, fastest growing industry in the world, technology like we've never seen before. Guys, this is a marriage made in heaven. We could not have anything better in our hands right now than LifeWave, the most beautiful industry in the world, most beautiful industry and the most amazing product. You guys have been exposed to David Schmidt. You guys watched some of the snippets on the conference that we had 2 weeks ago. Let me tell you something. David Schmidt, in my eyes, is I call him a genius. He's actually a genius. That's the only word that I can think of. And guys, if you think about it, David Schmidt had a very important decision to make 19 years ago. Now, this is what you call divine intervention. God's hand was at play here, let me tell you, because what happened was when David Schmidt wanted to get this amazing product into the marketplace, well, the first product was the energy enhancer, as we know. So this was the first product. 19 years ago that David Schmidt had in his hand the first product, Energy Enhancer, and he thought, how am I going to get this product into the marketplace? And as some of you guys know, some of you guys might not know, what did he do? He started doing research on, let me put this on TV, let me put it on radio, let me get it onto the shelves of Walgreens and all the different pharmacies and that type of thing. That is the direction that he was already starting to go. And he's actually spoken about this before in one of the trainings a while back, 6 months ago. He was saying, if this product, if the LifeWave product was on the shelves of your Boots, Dis-Chem, Clicks, Walgreens, the pharmacies, this product would be retailing at about $300 to $400 because in traditional business, you have what you call a supply chain. Now, me coming from the children's toy industry, I understand what a supply chain is. There are a lot of middlemen that need to get paid along the way in the process. And by making LifeWave a network marketing company, that's how he was able to keep the prices at the prices that we get, which is literally a drop in the ocean compared to what it would be in the retail world. So that was, and in the presentation, we talk about how he got in front of the Olympic gold medalist swimming team. And that was divine intervention because he just had one meeting with somebody, which led to another meeting, which led to another meeting, which led to about 6 people meeting after meeting after meeting, just sitting in front of the Olympic swimming team. And at that point, that's when he realized that that's networking. That is word of mouth. That is people getting him to there. And that's when he made the decision to make LifeWave a network marketing company, which I am so, so grateful for. So obviously LifeWave has been growing, growing, growing. And then the new kid on the block, as we all know, X39, this little baby is what put LifeWave onto the map, basically just on 4 years ago. And this is where LifeWave is now hitting what you call that exponential curve. So we call that being at the crest of the wave. So all of us right now that are part of LifeWave, we are the pioneers. We are literally the people that are right here in the beginning. We are at the beginning stages because if you think about it, pre X39, so we're talking 15 years, all LifeWave was doing was putting the foundation in place, waiting for all of us, waiting for all of us. Because right now, we're getting the most amazing, like-minded and like-hearted people that are all coming together right now at this crucial time. So what is our job? Our job is to share LifeWave with everybody. Now, if you think about it, a lot of people have a lot of people have been in corporate world. People have had their own businesses. People have had jobs for many, many years, which has been very, very important. But what we have found is uh, people have not been equipped to be able to share something with other people. And we make the assumption that people automatically know what to do. But that's not the case because, as I said to you, a lot of people have never been in the network marketing industry before. And a lot of people are coming in for the very, very first time. And this is where we are here as leaders to help you and explain to you exactly how to share LifeWave. And I have just seen that Harvey, I missed him. I couldn't see him on the screen. And I see that Harvey is on the call now. So I'm going to hand right over to Harvey and then I'm going to jump in and get your pen and paper ready, guys, because there's some really awesome practical stuff that we're going to be sharing with everybody tonight. Harvey, as you guys, for the new people that have just come on, Javi is a senior presidential director of LifeWave. He's been part of LifeWave for just on 15 months and has been in the industry for just over 15 years and comes with a wealth of knowledge. Javi is a good friend, my mentor, And it's just an absolute honor to have you on our call this evening. Javi,
Hi, can you hear
there we
me?
go. Yes, there we go.
All right. Okay, good. Hey, Chris, thank you for allowing me to pop in here before my next meeting. And you know, first off, I want to congratulate everybody for coming here because they're here because they want to better their skill. And I'm just gonna go straight to it because I'm pressed for time. This business is all about skill. Yes, I've been in business in this industry for 15 years, and it just means that I have experience. Okay. And one of the hardest things that is to get people's eyes on what we have to offer. Okay. That's the hardest thing is the invite. And I hate to say this is the close. Okay. I hate to that word close because I hate to be closed. Okay. I like to resolve people's problems. Now, what and it's easier now, and I'm going to piggyback what Chris was saying. Back when I started, there was no Zoom, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, and we had to do meetings by going to people's homes, home to home to home. That was our Zoom. Okay, and they had something called conferencecall.com. Oh my goodness, the noise that was on there and trying to hear people speak was horrible. But we made do for it. We're kind of spoiled now because of the Zoom, and people think that it's so hard. Try doing this back then when I first started, 14, 15 years ago. So, you know, if you want people to see what you're offering, we have to do more of the listening than the talking. And what do I mean by that? Okay, we have to tell people, we have to ask questions. I'm a question asker, and I just sit and I talk, and people say, Javi, you're still there? I'm here. I'm just listening to everything you're saying because I'm going to find a pain point. Okay, I'm going to find a pain point that is going to allow me to put LifeWave to fill that void. Okay, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. Okay, yes, often cases we want to just get business builders. Some people want to start off by just trying the product, and that's fine. We have to respect people where they're at, and that's fine. Okay, you love people where they're at, but let's go to the business part of this. Okay, and oftentimes when people are talking, they're going to talk about a void, they're going to talk about a problem. We have to listen more. And if someone talks about a void of a financial distress in their life, what we got to say is simply as this: hey, I have something that can fill that void. Would you be open to see what I do? And just stay quiet and see what they say. And they say, yeah, what you got? Hey, listen, it's all visual. I'm pressed for time right now, but you know what? I'm having a Zoom meeting with some of my business partners tomorrow at 7 o'clock. It's 30 minutes of your time. And if you see what I see, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. I put that line on repeat mode over and over again. If you give them too much, then they're not gonna be thirsty enough to want to drink. I like that saying. You give a horse, you could lead a horse to water, but you can make them drink it. But I love to make people thirsty enough to want to drink more. Okay, and if someone says, for an example, you know, this job has been consuming all my time. I can't even spend time with my children. You know what? I know how you feel. I was there once. If I can show you a way to get more time with your children, would you be open to see what I'm doing? You'd be so great at it. I'm filling a void, and I put up a flag like, did you tell me give me back more time? Fill a void. Stop telling people what you've accomplished. Stop telling people I did this, I did that. Oh, I earned this, I earned that. They don't give a shit. They don't care. What they care is how you can show them how to do it. Okay, I never talk about how many people I have in my organization ever. Why? Because for some people it's not relatable. Some people can't handle it. There's people struggling going manager because they don't have the skill. This business is all about skill, folks. Okay, you can't be a trainer in the gym without having that skill, right? You can't be a doctor or a nurse without having that skill. The skill comes from the doing, and it's like a diamond. A diamond requires pressure and it requires heat. Okay. And what makes the diamond, folks, is the cut. And that's the last thing they do for a diamond. That's why there's different types of diamond. That's why some are prettier than others. Okay. And if you want that diamond that you want to be, you have the pressure that you're going through right now, that frustration that you're allowing to happen in your life. That's part of the process. I'm an SBD today, but you know what? I'm human. I bleed red just like you. I get frustrated too. but it doesn't consume my mindset thinking that, you know what, this is not going to work for me. Or you are where you're supposed to be in your business. And your business is all about the internal work. The internal work. You have to grab onto someone that will guide you and lead you and listen. You're on the Zoom because you're listening to different nuggets that can help you just get the eyes on this Zoom call, to get the eyes on the presentation. I ask the right questions and I listen. You have health issues? I have a patch for that. Okay. You have financial issues? I got something to resolve that. You know, I wish I could be around people who are positive. I definitely got something for that. You know, this world is already broken, folks. You want to give someone a safe place that they want to go to. Okay. And that's the culture that's being created on this team. It's all about being someplace that they're safe and they're accepted and that they have a voice to express how they feel. There's so many people out there that can't even express how they feel because they get shunned upon. Over here, we don't practice that. Not on this team that I know, and none of my other teams, we don't practice that either. Okay. And when it comes to the close, there's no need to close because you resolve their problem. That close is already done. Okay. You just got to show them what you see. And if they see what you see, great, folks. Not everybody's going to see what you see. It's all about the laws of averages, because if Phyllis Kirkland speaks to 10 people, okay, and she gets 2 to join her business, that's a good law of averages. Okay. You may need to speak to 10 to get 2. You may need to speak to 10 to get 1. Are you willing to go through that work to get to where you want to go in your life? I was. Are you willing to do that? If you're on the Zoom call today, there's 56 people on the Zoom call today. If you're willing to go through that, then you're going to build an amazing business. Okay. If you enrolled somebody and they want to do the business, launch their business immediately. Okay. Expose them to your upline. Why? You want them to see LifeWave outside of you. It's all about exposure and seeing so they can see the ghost. If you keep LifeWave at you, you will be stagnant and you will be stuck. I promise you. Listen, I use my upline for everything. For everything. I did a three-way Zoom call with Mike Hernandez on Sunday. We enrolled the guy. We launched his business on Tuesday. And you know what? On top of that, Mike did the presentation. He didn't have to. He goes, I'm going to launch your first call. I just duplicate what they do, folks. I'm a copycat. Listen, all you have to do, and this is the secret sauce. Just ask the right questions and listen. You will get the door to throw LifeWave in there. Okay. And most of the problems is financially. People want to make more money. And people who make money, guess what? They want to make more. Yesterday, I took a break from my meetings and took my kids to do a trick or trunk at their school, whatever that's called. And not even trick or treat, it's trick or trunk. Okay, they take candies out of people's cars. It's something new. It doesn't make sense to me. But I went there, and there was a guy who has one of the most successful landscaping business in this town. He went like this. I saw what you and your wife speaking in front of all these people on Instagram. I don't post products on my Instagram. I attract people. I don't recruit people. I attract them to what we have. It's the difference. If you go out hunting, you're never going to get anything. If you go out to attract people for what you've got, you get people to look at it. He goes, what do you have? I say, hey, we just talk in front of people and we inspire them to rejuvenate their stem cell. He goes, what do you mean? Stem cell that you have to go overseas and get injected? No, that's what I did with my son. I have a patch that does that. And he goes, well, I want to do that. That sounds like fun. I said, you don't need this. You have a successful landscape business. He goes, what are you talking about? I always want to make money. Successful landscaping business. Great. I went to his house last night. I dropped him a sleeve of patches, and I'm going to talk to him in 48 hours. Bro, we just got to be a messenger and a guide to people. Okay? Ask questions, Phyllis. Ask questions, Aloma. Aloma, I called you back the other day, by the way. All right? Okay? It wasn't in 10 minutes. It's more like 10 hours, but I called you back. But, you got to ask questions. And if you're on this call, guys, this is a skill-based business. The skill comes from the doing. It's doing it over and over again. 14 years ago, I couldn't prospect anybody. I used to throw up all over them. I used to have vomit of the mouth because I was so excited what I was doing. But what I did was I used to put my sponsor on the phone with them so they could talk. And I learned as they spoke, and I incorporated their verbiage into my verbiage. Okay. If you notice, all I do is speak like Mike and Steve and Gina and Onyx. Okay. That's all I do. And I repeat what they say, and I get people's eyes on this. That's all it is, folks. Please don't overcomplicate this. You want to have fun. Life is already complicated. You come here to be safe and to be around people who want more in life and want to do something about it. You understand? I came back from the conference. I have never been so busy. Okay. And I was busy after the This Is It conference. Okay. Listen, I don't have even time to eat, but I'm okay with that because I want to see people win. Okay. I want to see people win, and I have that obsession with people. Why aren't people here reaching out to their upline? Hey, what do you say to people? Can you do a three-way call for me? Why aren't people using that resource? I don't understand. I do appreciate your independency, but when I got on this business, I was ignorant on fire. I touched everybody. Hey, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? It's okay to ask for help. It's okay. And once you get to this place called manager, that's where the magic happens. We identify somebody who wants to do this. And you do this one person at a time, one phone call at a time, and one patch at a time. Okay. Yes, the one thing I have over you is experience, but the one thing you have over me is experience. Okay. And we're here to help each other out, and I look at this call here and I look at all the people here. Can I scroll here? I'm doing this. Tracy never have a problem reaching out to me. Right after the conference in Orlando, I'm on a Zoom call with her. Why isn't anybody reaching out to Chris enough and utilizing him? Why isn't people in Georgia's direct downline reaching out? Hey, can you do a three-way call for me? Why aren't people doing that? I'm serious. Clint has reached out to me a ton of times. I have done Zoom meetings for him as well. It all works out. Ashley Romanowski, freaking 22 years old, reaching out to me. Phyllis, why haven't I heard from you? I'm just saying, and I'm putting everybody in the spot here is because we're here to help you. We are here to help you, and we will find a space and time to help you. Okay? And if you don't know how to do it, we will show you how to do it. It's like we're being back in school. I never want to be the smartest person in the room, okay? Because I'm in the wrong room. I always want to learn, and I always want to be better than yesterday. It's all about raising your leadership lid, guys. That's all it is. And when I come here, I speak to you this way because I know how it is to be where you're at. But I'm trying to make your 6-month target into a 3-month target and break the learning curve to say you have the help. All you have to say is, can you help me? That's all it is, folks. We're your friends, we're your business partners, we're your buddies, we're your brothers, we're your sisters. All we want to do is say we see you win. I have such a joy when I see people go manager. My God, it's like hitting the lotto. It's just amazing seeing people win, especially manager, the most important rank of this business. Ask questions, Joe. Ask questions, Margot. Phyllis, ask questions. What's the problem? How can I help you? What can I do to help you with your finances? Okay, I have a great compensation plan that can do that. If I can make an extra $500 a month, I can spend more time with my kids. Guess what? I can show you how to do that. Really? Absolutely. What do you got? I'm going to have a Zoom tomorrow. My business partner's going to be on. It's only going to be 25, 30 minutes of your time. And if you see what I see, great. And if you don't, that's fine too. And folks, and if they don't see it, follow up with them 3 weeks later. Okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. When someone says no, it may be a bad time. They may have gotten an argument with their boss. Their spouse probably pissed them off. They must have got a bill in the mail. They must have stumped their toe on the chair. Something must have happened in their life that they're going to say no at the time. Okay? Hey, I'm not perfect. I have my moments. I'm an imperfect person in this imperfect world trying to help imperfect people. How cool is that? Okay? How cool is that? Okay. And you want to know something, I'm going to go straight to the jugular vein here. If you feel that you're having a tough time and you're not having fun, guys, and you're not willing to change you to get the life that you want, guess what? Then this business is not for you. I'm being straight out with you. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of grit to get the life that you want for anybody in any business. But guess what? In any traditional business, it takes between 5 and 7 years to get a return on your money. Over here, you can make a return on your money within 1 day, 1 week, 2 days, 2 weeks. Okay. And then some, if you do it with the right people, folks, with the right people. No one here is different than anybody. You are where you're supposed to be. And when I say that, I want you to look in the mirror and say, how can I change me to be a better version of me so I can make somebody a better version of them? Okay. As you notice, I make it about everybody. I make it about everyone. Why? Because I want my leadership lid to go higher, because I'm trying to teach you how to raise your leadership lid. Why? Because your leadership is going to go as steady as your business. It will never bypass it, ever. Ask questions. Ask people. Just talk. Ask them, how's your family? How is work? Work sucks. Why? Because I work too much. How long you been working for your job? Like 20 years. You must love your job. Actually, no, I hate it, but I have to pay the bills. Okay, well, great. But listen, if I can show you something to help you pay the bills, if you're not making enough, can you give me 30 minutes of your time? You'd be fantastic on this team. What do you got? Listen, I have a Zoom call on Wednesday. My friend George is presenting. He is an amazing person. He's going to show you what we do. And if you see what we see, if you don't, that's fine too. I didn't tell him his life wave. I didn't tell him his patches. I gave him a resolution to his problem. So he's going to go there, because if you tell him, I tell him I'm part of a company, LifeWave, or they see the patch on my wrist, and they say, are you trying to stop smoking or something? I said, no, this is a patch that's rejuvenating my stem cell. It's a conversation piece, but that is a skill that you have to develop. How? By just doing it. You may mess up. You may look silly. You may say the wrong things. Who cares? Who cares? I'll tell you a story. When I first started in my first company ever, it was a juice, and it had some called a certified fatty acids in it. Acids, like acids. And I said a certified fatty acids. Who cares? Okay. They all felt sorry for me and they all joined. You know, say, well, if this guy can do it, he did it wrong, so can I. You don't have to be perfect in this business. You just got to show people you're having fun. That's it. You just got to show people you're having fun. And it's different over here. Cheer them on. Come on. Come over here. Look how much fun we're having. You know, people are not having fun in this world. They're not. And they want to have fun. And you can ask people, ask Aloma, ask Tracy, ask Ashley. We have fun doing this. How can you not want to be a part of this? Are you kidding me? I would give up everything except my family to stay part of this thing. You have no idea. But you have to show people what you are about. Energy is everything. Frequency is everything. You will never find me ever off my frequency. Off my frequency. Because people will smell it from afar away. Always. And you want to know something? That's a muscle that you have to work in your brain. And, you know, I wake up tired sometimes. Do I want to stay sleeping? No, I have people I got to help, man. Ask questions. Fill a void. And you don't have to close anybody. They close themselves. They're going to say, how do you get started? Great. Let me show you how to get started. Ask questions. Fill a void. Make people feel welcome. Make people feel wanted. Let them have a voice. Let them talk. Let them vent. And they're going to feel so much better afterwards. And you're going to say, I have something for that. I have something for that. People will come to see what you have. Out of 10, maybe 2 out of 3 will say no, and that's fine. I don't care. I know where I'm going. People will follow people when they know where they're going, folks. Okay? Know where they're going. Reach out to people who have experience. They want to help you. They want to help you. Everything is frequency and everything is energy. You understand? Everything. People want to match your frequency. And let me say something to you, and I got to get off. Okay? You are where you're supposed to be. And Chris said it in the beginning, LifeWave is on your lap for a reason. And I want you to ask yourself this. Ask yourself, Backies. Ask yourself, Phyllis. Ask yourself, Aloma. Lurky, if I say your name right. If I don't, I apologize. I have a habit of doing that. But ask yourself, I had a problem some time ago and I couldn't resolve it. All of a sudden, LifeWave was introduced to me. Well, hello, that's here to resolve your problem. It's supposed to resolve your problem, folks. Embrace it. Embrace it. A lot of you people are building this business. I'm holding my phone. A lot of you business are building this business with closed fists, as opposed to building this business with open hands and accepting the blessings and the good things that want to come into your life, because you're so holding on to the past, of past hurt, of past this and past that. You never allow good things to come into your life. You got to let that go. You have no idea. I can sit here and I shared some stuff with Chris and some George, what happened in my life in the past, but I had to let it go to get where I am right now. But we have to go through those things in life, folks. We're never going to understand. Build this business with an open hand instead of closed fists. And I'm telling you, watch what's going to happen to you. Wonderful things are going to happen to you. Okay? The minute that you do it, watch what happens. I promise you. Open hands instead of closed fists. I love you guys. I have to go. I got to help this guy go director. All right?
Awesome. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you for taking the time out. Harvey, I've actually got a nickname for Harvey. I call him Duracell. Duracell Harvey. I think, never mind just on the patches, I think Harvey opens a six-pack of Duracell batteries in the morning, powers the batteries, and there goes Harvey off for the day. One of the most energetic people I've ever met in my life, and the most passionate people. And we're so blessed to have him as our mentor, as part of our team. So I learned a lot from Harvey, and I love what he was talking about, where we're talking about exposure. And a lot of times I'm saying to people, um, when it comes to talking about LifeWave, so person's new, you've just joined, you've been in for a week or two, and now you want to share LifeWave with other people. And what we tend to do is, you might have heard this saying before, you cannot give a haircut over the phone. Cannot give a haircut over the phone. Because if you think about it, we do a visual presentation, which takes anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes, and we explain everything point by point. And, what we say is, let us do the presenting for you in the beginning, and you're going to start to learn as you're going along. Because what we do is we tend to, as Harvey said, we tend to puke on people. We say too much. And I've been guilty of it, guys. I've been guilty. I think I scared some people away in the beginning when I first joined, out of excitement. And I think we do that. We don't do it intentionally. We don't do it purposefully. We just share too much information too quick, and a person gets overwhelmed. Have you guys sent information to people and you get, have you ever heard the saying called radio silence? Okay, so what radio silence means is they've either gone into a witness protection program and they've totally disappeared, or aliens have abducted them. Something has happened, but this person has sort of disappeared. They're sort of gone. And you're thinking, what did I say wrong? Why aren't they getting back to me? I see the double blue ticks. They're reading my messages. If I offended them, what have I done wrong? There's a number of things. The first thing that I picked up is a lot of people send information to a person, but guess what? They forget to say, we haven't spoken for 6 months. How are you doing? How's your wife? How are the kids? How's your job? How are you doing? I think we tend to forget that it's all about the relationship with another human being. And if you come across too robotic, you don't come across as your natural self. You don't come across as your natural self. So you know what happens is you go and send information to a person and you haven't spoken to them for 6 months or a year, and you just splash all this information to somebody. You know what you've actually done? You've actually offended that person. And guess what? I'm guilty of it as well, guys. And when I realized, oh my word, all I've done is I didn't ask how this person is. I just sent all this information, and you come across like you spammed a person with the information. We talk about drip feeding. I don't know if um, if you go into hospital and they put a drip into your arm and you've got that bag and it's hanging up on that little metal thing, right? And the nurse comes, and what they do is they regulate the drops going into the body, because if you took that bag and you squeezed all that liquid into your body, guess what's going to happen? You're going to possibly die. So what the nurse does is actually drip feeds, and that's why it's drip, drip, drip. It takes 4 hours for that liquid to go into the body. And it's exactly the same thing when we're talking to somebody. You drip feed. So in other words, you give people little bits of information at a time, not to overwhelm. You guys have seen the training that I did called Getting Started with a Bang. Guys, if you haven't watched the training called Getting Started with a Bang, I did that training 2 weeks ago. It's on the in the toolbox. If you don't have the toolbox, make sure that you have a copy of the toolbox. Getting Started with a Bang talks about the AIDA concept. AIDA stands for attention. I'll let you talk now, George. Attention, interest, desire, and action. Attention, interest, desire, action. That means AIDA. And you can't get it back to front because you cannot go straight to the desire part without first getting a person's attention, then interest, then desire. And here we're talking about getting people onto a Zoom call, which is so imperative. Let us do the work. So before I hand over to George now, I just want you to think about this concept called sell the trailer, not the movie. I want you to think about this very carefully. Sell the trailer, not the movie. What do I mean by that? All right, so we're sitting having a cup of coffee, and I'm sitting with a friend of mine, and we're chatting about movies. And the person says to me, Chris, have you watched X, Y, and Z movie? And I go, yes, I did watch that movie. Oh my goodness gracious me. You know what? You know what that movie is all about? It's about these people and they hijack a train and they do this and there's robbers on the train. And then, oh, you know that actor from this movie? He's in that movie. And this other actor, that one over there, the one that played, oh, remember that movie? Oh, come on, what was that movie called? That one, you know that one I'm talking about, that movie. That person acts in that movie. That one, that person. Oh, and that one acts. And you're not going to believe it. You know what happens at the end? You know that main actor I was telling you about that acted in that other movie? He dies. He gets shot. He's dead. He dies at the end of the movie. You've just sat there for the last 3 minutes and you going, right, thank you. I might as well not even bother. I'm not even going to go and see the movie. I'm not even going to go and watch the movie. And that's exactly what this is. If you're giving all this information, you possibly ruined the movie. You ruined the opportunity for somebody else because you've given all the information too much too quickly. Our job is to share the trailer. We got to keep the person inquisitive, keep a person curious to want to find out more. And that's why I say, let us hold your hand. Let us um, help you in the beginning and do the job, getting onto three-way calls, getting onto the Zoom calls. And this is all a process, which George is the absolute master at explaining the process because I didn't understand it in the beginning because I felt like I was knocking my head against a brick wall. And then George said, no, Chris, you know what? This is all a process within a process. And I'm like, wow. So, guys, George, we've known for a couple of years. And let me tell you something. George is here and he helps absolutely everybody and just an amazing person and also a wealth of knowledge and shares such amazing, beautiful tips that you can start using straight away. So George, still in the USA, he'll be back in Mallorca next week. And George, thanks for taking the time out and joining us onto the Zoom call. Over to you, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Several things, but I'm going to tease you all. So a lot of people say we don't like the Americans because they got too much energy. I love Javi's energy. I love Mike's energy. I love Steve and Gina's energy, but I do know that sometimes for Europeans and others, it can be a little bit intense. That said, I would encourage you all to listen as much as possible to people like Javi, Mike, Steve, and Gina, because they truly do want to help you all. And they have huge experience and there's plenty to learn from them. Now, I'm going to give Chris a little bit of I guess, pull your beard, but Chris doesn't call me for three-way calls. I was the person who invited Chris. I don't think maybe once he got me. So it's really important. Whenever I have a new person in my team, I call Javi and say, Javi, I'd like you to meet this person. I'd like this person to meet you. And it's very, very powerful. My friend who I'm staying with here, she's my friend, and I can communicate a certain amount of stuff to her. But the call with Javi yesterday was super powerful for her because it's different. It gave her a new dimension on the whole thing. When it's somebody who I don't know, and I have many people in my downline who I don't know. I was with Tracy in a cab between the convention and the hotel, 4-minute ride, Venezuelan woman. So this is like a practical example of what Chris is trying to say: attention, interest, etc., etc. So Venezuelan. I said, so how long you been in the States? How's it going for you? She said 2-3 years, if I remember rightly. And yeah, it's okay, but it's not easy. I said, maybe I need to tell you about what I'm doing. We just came back from this convention. You see this thing on my neck? Yeah, that reactivates my stem cells. And I've been working with it for a year. My financial anxieties are disappearing. And she goes, oh, that's interesting. I say, take my number. I never take anybody's number. Take my number. She took my number, added it to her WhatsApp, and in the evening she WhatsApped me, and now we're in a conversation. Don't know where it'll go, but I do this with people all day long. And I look at it, and don't take this amiss, but I look at it like a dating game, and I got like 50 dating games running simultaneously, and some are like 6 months before you have a date. Some are like 5 minutes. Also, always listen to the messages that come to your mind, but we often ignore. So an example is, I was looking through my WhatsApp for a certain piece of information. I remember the string of words which would get it to me, and it was like 4 years or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago in my WhatsApp, and there was a name there. When I got to that WhatsApp account of that person, and Justin, I go, wait a minute, Justin, you've been in the back of my mind the last few days. But very subtly in the back of my mind, I called him or messaged him. I say, hey, Justin, long time. We only met once in an event in Dallas. We had a 15-minute conversation. And I said, listen, how are you? How have you been? And how's your health? And there's something, I'd like to talk to you. And he said, yeah, great. That would be lovely. So we had a talk the next day, and he says to me, wow, this is really interesting to me. We've been, my wife and I were in a complicated car accident. So I think we should use the patches. And actually, we're looking for a new opportunity. And this is right up my alley. So then I gave him more information than I might give somebody else, because he's like, it's right up my alley. So what I'm saying is, again, another example. I'm at, some of you have heard me say that, but I'm at a cafe that I like by the sea in Mallorca, Spain, where I live. And the owner of the cafe, is standing there. He's looking out to sea, and I said, so how was the season? Asking a question. He said, yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was hard, but it was good. But yeah, it was hard. And he says to me, how are you? I said, I just came back from the States from an event to do with what I'm working with. He said, what's that? I said, you see this patch back of my neck? And every cat is different. There's more than one way to skin a cat, but every cat is different. So you never know where somebody's interest may lie before you've thrown a few things out on the table. So I said, you know what? Amazing results with everything from migraine, tinnitus, Parkinson's, diabetes. And he said, Parkinson's? My mom's got Parkinson's. Tell me more. So then I reached out to him. I said, so how did that information grab you? He says, no, yes, I want to use those patches. So, some people, he didn't let me get to the point where I said, and my financial anxieties have also disappeared. Because COVID, like Chris, COVID turned my business life upside down. So you never know what is going to catch somebody's interest, but you have to have a fan of things to just throw on the table and see what the interest is. Another thing, listening. Javi talks about listening. And I'm going to say two things here. You listen to what people are saying, but you also listen to what they're not saying with words. Many times people are saying something, but they're not verbalizing it. You have to listen a bit harder to what's going on in the background. And to learn to listen, I thoroughly recommend joining a local Toastmasters group for 1 year. No more, because they do their leadership track thing. But in 1 year, you'll really learn to listen, to give positive evaluation to people. And one more thing, to be able to take anything and go anywhere you go in a conversation. They do something called table topics, where they give you, I'm just picking something off my friend's table. Talk about that for 10 minutes, for 2 minutes, not 10 minutes, excuse me. Talk about that for 2 minutes. And most people go, oh, that's a remote control. Yeah, and the remote control, and it's made of metal, and it's got 6 buttons, 7 buttons on it, and then they get stuck. So, if you give me the remote control, I say, wow, remote control. I remember when I was a kid in the States, they had remote controls, which we didn't have in the UK till I was like 25 years old. But one of the great things about remote controls, it allows you to think of doing something in one place and having a result in another place. And that's one of the wonderful things about the business I'm involved in, because I can talk with people here today and the company will send them the goods. I'm just taking it anywhere I want to go. I mean, yeah, you have to think about it a bit more deeply, but that is landing like a cat on your feet every single time with people and never being bothered. People will tell you, I sent Chris an email that somebody sent me. Oh, this slurry of mush that this company's putting together and sticking on people. And I mean, it was an outrageous letter from a friend of mine who loves me, but he was like violently, so don't even worry about these things. These things, once for many people, it would steal their dreams and turn them right off. But like Onyx Cole says, we're in the quantum team field, and we're in the This Is It team, and you guys are all in the 333 team. So teams within teams within teams. But what Onyx Cole says, this has got to go from your head to your heart, and when it's in your heart, nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can tell me anything. I have a great friend. We had dinner the other day, and his wife said, I think we should try the patches for my mum. And he's going, nope. And then he's like, he's furious about it. Why are you so furious about it? He's like, yeah, it's a placebo effect, and people get out of wheelchairs when they go to Lourdes, and it's mass psychosis, and it's this and that and the other. And I was a bit naughty, and it was a dinner table, and we were guests, and I said, my friend, you're talking shit. And he's like, what? I wouldn't have done that some years ago, but it's like, okay. Anyway, his wife said to me, we're going to try on my parents without telling him. It's every day. And that would bring us, I think, to, Chris may want to say some things from what I've said, but every day, it's every day. And that brings us to what we wanted to talk about in the first place, which was going through, some of you will have seen John Maxwell, some of you won't have seen the John Maxwell presentation at the event, but it's very, if you haven't, it's pretty key, and I think we do have time to kind of go through it. I made some notes at the time. Chris, tell me what you think. And about what I've said, I've sort of talked nonstop for about 15 minutes.
No, that's 100%. I think, yeah, let's touch on it, and then everybody can watch the full recording, which I took the time out to put that recording together. It's worth watching it from start to finish. It's an hour, absolute nuggets. So George, you know what? Sell the trailer, not the movie.
Sell the trailer, not the movie. I'm looking for my notes, and is it in the other end of this book?
So so the next, like, say, 3-4 minutes. Give the nuggets for a person to want to go watch the recording. Let's see how good you are doing that.
Okay. So every day. I mean, I suppose. Yeah. I'll just tell one story then. He talked about cutting down a very big tree, and he's like, I can't cut down a very big tree. I'm relatively old, and it's a very big tree. So I'll go every day and take my axe and do 5 hits to the tree. And if you do that every day, in due course, the tree will fall down. So every day, that's what he's talking about, every day. And people say to him, what do you mean every day? Do you mean every day? Yes, every day. I do LifeWave every day. And there are days when we get tired, or we're not in the right frame of mind to give out the best energy, or and take some time off. That's fine. But if you see this as a way for you to change your health life, your money life, and you really want to go for this, then do it every day. I don't know how else to, without going more deeply into it. And he talks about the 5 essentials. He talks about know what you want to do, which is what I was just talking about. If this is what you want to do, we do have here the right tool. And he made a great comment, which I loved. The dream is free, the journey is not. So, when I saw this, when I understood it, and I said, if this is true, it's revolutionary about the patches, and I want to try. And in the same breath said, I want to talk to somebody been in this company for a bit, and got to talk to Javi, and then we began to be friends, and actually discovered we had the same birthday. The journey, Chris says this, and I would say this too. This is the easiest hard work I've ever done. It's not hard, but you need to be constant, and you need to refresh your brains every so often, so that you don't get worn out. But is it worth it? Absolutely. My financial anxieties have disappeared, and what's going to happen over the next year will allow me to be incredibly creative with money. So that's very excited. Another thing, is stick with the same tree. Stick with the same tree. If you have 50 trees you want to knock down, and you go and put five hits of the axe on one tree one day, and 5 hits of the axe on another tree, and another tree, you'll never knock any of them down. So when we talk about the tree in this case, that would be LifeWave. And don't be jumping around from one. We all know there are many offers coming our ways every day, crypto offers, not to mention others. And basically, if LifeWave resonates with you, stick with it. Another thing of him, consistency compounds. What does that mean? Chris always talks about exponential growth. You come to a point where there's exponential growth in your business. So it might seem like you're only hitting 5 axe hits every day, and nothing seems to be changing. But then suddenly, bang, you can see in your back office a whole a rapid growth of a number of people's in your organization, or that your money is in a whole other band that it wasn't in 2 months previously or 4 months previously. And another thing that I love what he talked about, the difference between consistency and intensity. I'm always saying the following, and I added a bit to it. I always say persistence and consistency on the one hand, with patience and passion on the other hand. You see, I've got passion for this. I have incredible patience. Sometimes I even wonder about it myself. But I'm adding one more thing to that: the desire to learn. When you have the desire to learn with those other things, time will do the rest. And that's something basic. And what I loved about what he was saying, and I'll leave it at that, he didn't say do this all day. He said he'd do it every day. And some days I do more hours, some days I do less. I'm fully focused on this. I got other things that I deal with. I have a boat to rent, I have a house to keep in order. I've been doing maintenance, repairing. LifeWave has allowed me to repaint the house inside and outside. I've got 2 guys. I've got to be buying material. I got day-to-day things as everybody has to do, cars that break down, so on and so forth. But dating game, what I was saying before, my boat is out of the water for an insurance job, and today I called up the secretary of the company who are doing the work to check that she sent the estimate to the insurance company. And she said, "Oh, you're on holiday in America?" I said, "No, I'm there to do with the patches. Remember I told you the patches?" She's patches. "Oh, yes." She says, "You're looking younger every time I see you." I said, "Yes, those patches." I said, "Did you look at what I sent you?" She said, "No, I didn't." I said, "Well, when I come back, I'm going to come and sit with you." It's a long-term dating game, but you never know who. But don't take it personally. Don't take it to heart. Some people want to go quick. Some people want to go slow. Go at everybody's pace, but don't get fixed to just one person. I think I've said a lot of things there.
George, I was actually making notes as you were talking. Absolutely amazing. A lot of good reminders that we forget. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. And at the end of the day, a lot of people that also don't know, George, his persistence is what got me sitting in this chair tonight. So I just want to say thank George so much for being persistent with me, because when he first sent me information, it took 21 messages from George before I made a decision to say yes. And I'm pretty open to, different things. So if it took me 21 times, well, at least the average is less. They say it takes anywhere from 8 to 12 exposures before you get a person's attention. So,
but look at that, Chris. My persistence with you, guys. I decided Chris was going to do this with me. He didn't know that, but I was very clear to Javi. Chris is going to do this with me. Yes, Chris is going to do this with me. It was a bit of a military maneuver to get his attention, but I also, I'll add this. Every person has a different thermostat. Some of you know Dr. Ali. Took me 3 months to get her attention, to get her on a call, but then I was able to give her lots of information in the following 3-4 days. And she was, "Thank you so much for really good backup information." But other people, I couldn't. So with Chris, I couldn't have given him as much information as I was giving Alison, because he was back against the wall. He was exhausted. He had brain fog. He wasn't making any money, and he was stressed. So I was like every 2-3 days, I would send him something. And you never know what will catch a person's interest. So again, it's like when I say to the guy, diabetes, Parkinson's, my mom's got Parkinson's. When I said to Chris, told him Javi's story about his son Alex with autism, and I told him about my buddy Julian with tinnitus, Chris said to himself, "George doesn't know that my nephew's autistic. He doesn't know that my girlfriend's got tinnitus. I'm going to try." How would I know that that was the thing that was going to finally catch his interest? But it's giving out information again with, in his case, at a certain, I'll say this, I have fairly good instincts for what somebody's thermostat is. Now, occasionally I play with it. There's a woman who got in touch with me about some crypto thing, and I said, "I'm doing this. I'm not interested in crypto." And I said, "Well, okay, I'll send you some information about what I'm doing." She said, "Yeah, that's fine." But then I decided to send her lots of stuff every day till she said to me, "Please don't send me any more stuff." Okay, fair enough. But I wanted to play with it, and I knew what I was doing there. What else? There's something else. Yeah. Everybody else who's on this call is here on this call because I managed to get Chris's attention. And that for me is something I'm, that I found wondrous, and I'm absolutely grateful for, because we are making. I'm going to go somewhere else. Not how to, but this world is completely, it needs a lot of help. And through the people that Chris has reached to and all of this team, and I have other teams too, we are having a ripple effect on the world, bringing, the patches, they bring health, but they also bring, we talk about emotional health and spiritual health, and the world needs it more than ever. So, for me, it's also the most practical thing I can do, let's say, politically, against the insanity that we're living outside.
I agree with you, George. And you know what? I was just going to share with what in finishing off now, guys. We'll be finishing about a minute or two. I just want to tag on to what George was saying 21 times. But guess what stopped my attention or got my attention? Which George shared a testimony to me. So that's exactly where I was going to finish off and say, guys, the most important thing is any information that you send to somebody, make sure it's got a testimony attached. From the toolbox, there are 29 recordings that you can send. Go onto the LifeWave only, testimony only group. There's 500 testimonies to choose from there, guys. And people say to me, okay, Chris, but which testimony do I send? I don't know what testimony to send to somebody. I don't know what their problem is. You know what? It doesn't matter. They're like, what do you mean? I say, you can send somebody a testimony of somebody that has got arthritis, right? And you send them a testimony on someone that their migraines have disappeared. But you know what might happen? They might watch their testimony on a person talking about how their migraines have disappeared. They might not have migraines, but they've got arthritis. So you know what it does? They've seen what this amazing product has done or some other type of ailment is going to get their mind thinking, if this product can help with migraines, I wonder if this product might help with arthritis. And they will ask you, does this product maybe perhaps help with X, Y, and Z? And that's what I talk about, just sending any testimony. So
I'll add one thing. Javi, Chris always says, stories sell, facts tell. Now that's true, but and I tell a lot of stories because stories underline points. Javi always says, don't make a point without telling a story, but don't tell a story without a point.
Completely. Couldn't agree with you more. So, guys, in finishing off, I'm going to leave you with two last little nuggets. Is something as George was talking. Did you know that this year there were 3 people that I signed up into LifeWave, and guess how I started the conversation? Most of us are on Facebook, right? I didn't post about anything with regard to LifeWave. I saw it was their birthday. I saw it was a person's birthday on Facebook. You know, Facebook tells you when it's a person's birthday. You know what I do? As soon as I see that in the morning, that it's a person's birthday, you know what I've done? I took it off Facebook and I sent them a private message on WhatsApp. And I said, Sigmund, I wonder if she's on the call. No, she's not on the call. A little while back, I just sent her a message. Hey, Sigmund, happy birthday. Hope you have an awesome day. And she's like, oh, wow, Chris, thank you so much. What have you been up to? This is what I've been up to. I shared what I'm doing. Sigmund joined 3 days later. So 3 people have joined LifeWave in the last year. And guess what? All I did, guys, all I said was happy birthday. Sent them a private message to say happy birthday. That's what I want to finish off saying. Chris, I don't know what to say to people. Start with happy birthday. Start with happy birthday. Start with how you're doing. And you know what? Make it a habit. And in the training that I did, anyone that hasn't watched the compensation plan training that I did at the end, if you haven't watched it, the power of one. So guys, just speak to one person a day. Start from tomorrow and make that a habit, because if whatever you do for 21 days, 21 days makes or breaks a good or bad habit. 21 days, remember that. Okay, George, I want to finish off now.
Yeah, I had it and I lost it in my mind. Um, lost it because I was answering Phyllis in the group. We'll post a testimonial in the link to the testimonials in the 333 group afterwards. Oh yes, I remember. So you have new people, but you haven't done three-way calls with me.
Yep. Not all of them. I've done a few three-way calls, a few three-way calls. So I actually spoke to you about it last night, George. I hope you're ready next week because I'm going to keep you
Oh,
so
okay.
busy.
Next week. Okay, I'm ready next week. I'm
You're
ready
back to
anytime.
time zone. I'm going to keep you very busy next week. Don't you worry.
That's
You're
good.
going to be on the
I
phone
love it. And so yeah, let's just make this huge for everybody.
I can see Johnny smiling there because Johnny is new. Johnny, I'm going to be exposing you to George next week. I hope you know that. Jacques, you already spoken to Jacques? We'll be getting onto a call.
Okay,
Guys,
cool.
I hope you got something out of tonight. I know I did. I've made so many notes from George and from Harvey. Absolutely brilliant. Guys, you know what? You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We're here to help each other as a community. So from my side, good night. God bless. Look after yourselves. And we'll see you guys on the training on Saturday night. That's 7 o'clock South African time. That's when we plug into the This Is a Team. And then from next week, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, we have Zoom calls, presentations, and then next week, Thursday night, training.
Let's check if the time changes in America this weekend. I'm not sure if it's this weekend. I have to check.
Daylight saving thing.
Yeah, because then it's 1 hour difference. But let me check.
Let's keep up. Okay,
I woke up this morning thinking about it. It's about due.
Let's keep our eye on that. Thanks, George. Good,
Yeah.
good thought there. Awesome. Okay, guys. Enjoy your evening. Love you all. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.